And we're live.
We are live.
In the most disorganized fashion ever. And it's because 1 year yesterday we did our first ever show. Christelle had the idea, because she's generous, unlike me. I'm a miserable queen, of doing some sort of giveaway to celebrate.
That is not true. You donated quite a few books to the place, to a homeless shelter not too long ago.
Yeah.
So you are generous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I suppose so. So if anybody wants to be included in the draw, currently there's 2 names in the draw, and I think we're giving away at least 2 things. So you've got very good chance of winning something if you comment on the show thing before we do the draw. So if you're watching and you want free stuff, which probably be something like a choice of one of my books.
Hi, Chilla. Oh, you're showing what you're giving away. Yeah. Tim's written some rad books. Wait, let me show what I'm giving away too.
Oh, you got Shoma has added herself to the people.
Wait,
hi, Shoma.
It disappeared. I'm coming back. Here I am. Okay, look. I even have some of my product in. So I have my mugs I can give away.
Right, who's going to be? Am I going to be doing the draw? Or are you going to be doing the draw? I found that Wheel of Names site. I've got to. If I'm going to be doing it, I'll add Shoma's name to it.
I want to be in the draw, Chioma. I'm giving away either a mug or a sweatshirt. I don't have my sweatshirt in, but I have a sweatshirt that my son just created. That's called it's called Hope. What is it called? Spread Hope. It's my favorite design, and actually he just created it. So I'm going to give away either a mug or my Spread Hope sweatshirt, whichever you want.
Yeah. To anybody who's just tuned in, we're getting so as soon as you mention winning stuff, people start appearing in the thing. We're going to be at some point, probably in 10 minutes or so, giving away some free stuff to anybody who comments on this show or who commented on the previous post about this giveaway, to celebrate 1 year of Oh No, Not Another Live Show. So feel free to put your comments in. Obviously, abuse will probably count as well.
No. Well, okay. Are we going to, no.
Right. So it's like, love
Who's
the mug.
commenting? Where are you seeing comments?
What does it say?
Oh, so my mug says badass lovable beast. It was created by a former coworker of mine, helping me with my brand of spreading love and awareness for domestic violence. So every shirt, every item that I have in my merchandise store is a positive affirmation of some sort, a positive message to remind survivors of who we are and to spread hope. So my son, speaking of, is currently designing more for me. He's just having fun designing, and he is after hiring designers. Here I have in my own house a son who can design better than some of my designers. So I had no idea, but I'm going to give away, like I said, my Spread Hope.
You're not giving away your son, I hope.
Not giving away my son.
No.
Keeping him. Giving away my Spread Hope sweatshirt, or a mug that's either badass, lovable beast, or what's the other one? Love is our superpower. So that's what I'm giving away. Tim, your books are amazing. The social media one I know is fairly popular. You included quite a few social media experts in there, which I find fascinating when people come together for one project.
Yes, indeed. But if people have already got that book or they don't want it, they can have. This was the first book I wrote, which I actually wrote as free ebooks. So it's basically free ebooks in one thing. It's a time travel book. Well, a book about time travel fiction. Obviously, it's not. I have never actually gone back in time anywhere.
You haven't? What? Chioma, I'm not giving away my son.
I know. It's false advertising. I thought she said she was.
My son, speaking of, my son came with me yesterday. I was at my first event in over a year.
Yeah,
Very
I saw
strange.
that. Yeah.
very strange to be out in public. I don't even know how to be a person again. In fact, so I was invited to speak at a networking group. I belong to a networking group where we take turns speaking and promoting our whatever it is that we do. There's women from all kinds of backgrounds there. So I was able to tell my story a little bit, show my merchandise, meet masks on in person, and speak. And that was just so, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but it was so strange to be in public. Almost, I think everyone there had been vaccinated at least one time. But it's just so weird to be out and talking and seeing people in person. But my son came with me yesterday. He helped videotape it a little bit. And then I just like when he comes along, kind of see what I do. And he did it at my last job too. It's funny because my last job, when I worked at Traveling Stories, he would often go with me when I did presentations. And occasionally he came up and helped me do the presentations. So that was, he's getting some live experience just being with me. And I really enjoy that. But Tim, let's talk about the show because we're celebrating 1 year.
Yeah. And just because we seem to be getting more people watching, if you put something in the comments, like Jim Fuse just did.
Hi, Jim.
And you go into the prize draw for some random stuff that we're going to give away, which is mainly books and stuff, Christelle's stuff.
My merchandise.
Branded love is your superpower stuff. Anyway, you asked me a question which I've totally forgotten. We're talking about the show. Yes.
1 year. Tim, 1 year. We're celebrating 1 year together as a happy co-host.
Well, we had, let's remember April, who was a co-host for a while.
Absolutely.
I don't know what she's doing now. Occasionally you see her posts on social media where she's posting about stuff.
We never quite knew what she did because she's top secret. But I know that.
Yeah, I think she worked for the US CIA actually. Oh,
James, you're in the drawing. Right, so far, everyone on here. Okay. So far, everyone on here has been on our show except for one commenter who we will not name. Just kidding. I love you. Love you, James. Mwah.
Yes.
Tim.
Mr. Christelle in the comments there. And yeah, if he win my book, and he'll be like, I need to win Christelle's stuff. So I'm adding them onto the Wheel of Names, which is something I saw. I
actually want James to win one of my merchandise. That's really funny. I haven't given him anything. I want him to win so I can give him I want him to win so I can give him something.
Well, so far all the people are in the UK or US, which is good for books because I can just go onto Amazon US and send them direct. If somebody from like Brazil came on, that might be more of a problem. I'd have to go to the post office and send one. But I would be happy to have somebody from Brazil in it. But I'm just saying, like, it's easier for them in the US or UK or even Canada, actually.
International winners, welcome. I did discover, though, it costs me more money to send to the UK. And I've kind of just kind of am dealing with it. But I actually don't make as much if I sell to the UK. But that's okay. A lot of people who have purchased from me are actually from the UK, and I really enjoy that. And that's why I'm not worrying about it. I'm just kind of letting it slide.
Yeah,
so.
you got to go with the flow, haven't you? Really?
Go with the flow. What are you gonna do? It's so fun to be here doing 1 year. Okay, so we said we were going to talk about some of our famous moments on the show.
Oh, my mind is totally going blank now. But we didn't do interviews to begin with, did we? We had about a month or so where we didn't do interviews. I think wasn't Jen Gilmore our first guest?
Yeah. Yes. And Jennifer Gilmore, you brought Jennifer on the show because you knew her from, well, how did you meet her? I know it was in social media, but
how did I meet her? I met her it was Social Day, actually, the Social Day conference in the UK. She also won the social media award for the UK social media awards, and I met her there as well. So I know she does a lot of stuff with her husband up in Hull, I think it is. And
yeah.
a lot of stuff in the abuse area. So, well, that abuse area sounds so like anti-abuse. Obviously, I'm not saying she's going around like some evil dictator.
You bringing her on the show has allowed me the chance to get to know her, and I've actually done an interview with her now. And she's just lovely to chat with, and what she's doing is so lovely. And I would say she was probably one of our most influential guests, only because we've been able to go on and kind of build a relationship. And
that is an unexpected benefit. I mean, if you were going to say, are you going to do a live show to get millions of viewers, then I think the answer is probably no. Who could forget the serial killer or Eurovision entry quiz? That's true, actually. That was fantastic. We used to have a quiz on Thursday, if anybody doesn't know. I think Christelle did one quiz, but I did it usually. And it was just the same spreadsheet, and it was like you choose like for each entry. So I think it was Eurovision, serial killers, or I can't remember. There was another option as well. And I think Christelle got US presidents. So it was US presidents, Eurovision winners, or serial killers, which kind of asking them.
I was so
I think you had you thought several US presidents were serial killers and several serial killers were Eurovision entries or something along those lines.
James, of course, James remembered. I already forgot about that horrible memory. President candidate. See, he has a really good memory.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like we're all getting our dementia or whatever. It's like I'm forgetting everything now. It's like
I have a horrible short-term memory, but I can remember everything from like 20 years ago in detail.
I used to have a terrible short-term memory, but now I'm getting good at short-term memory. My long-term memory's going. I used to like really have social anxiety in bars and situations where it was like massive orders of drinks because I can never remember them. Okay. But then sometimes I got to the point where I could remember the drinks and I could remember them 2 weeks later when it was totally unnecessary. So it's strange because I used to like really hate going and like, you know, when the UK anyway, what happens is that you have rounds of drinks. Yeah. So that like one person buys a drink for everybody and then the next person buys a drink for everybody and that's the way. But I could never remember what people had said. And I'd have to keep going back. But eventually I got to the point where I could remember it. And then I could remember it from bloody weeks later. But now I'm fine remembering drink orders, but I sometimes forget obvious stuff. So it's weird memory.
I just can't remember. I'll be holding my phone and I can't remember that I'm holding it. I'll go around looking for my phone when it's in my hand, or my sunglasses when they're on my head. Yeah. Or
it's this kind of thing, is it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Where's my glasses? Where's my glasses?
I do that all the time. Oh, they're on my head. Or I'll put something random in the refrigerator. Oh, I think I've put my phone or keys in the refrigerator and not finished. Anyways, back to our show. Some of our memorable guests. I think last week's Zeke was quite fascinating.
He was, yeah. He was one of the few ones when we were competing for questions rather than like one of us like, who is this person? And then which is usually what happens. But yeah, no, he was really interesting. And actually our conversation after the show was quite good. I was like, I should have recorded this as well. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. And actually, I mean, he's got a very loyal following on his Venom vlog.
Incredible loyal following. Absolutely. People follow him and do whatever he does. And the thing I like about him is he's authentically humble. I mean, his whole mentality is probably anti-bullying, but truly. He had such wise words after the show. Yeah, I wish we would have recorded it because everything he said was just so wise. And I mean, he could pick up any toy and have a story that meant something.
Yeah.
In his
I mean, that was interesting, especially in he's had a brain aneurysm. It's not a small minor thing. It's like a life-changing event. And yeah, I mean, it's funny actually. YouTube has started suggesting me episodes of this show, which I think is actually a good thing on my on when I watch it on my TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan Lowe's one came up as a suggestion today, so that must be.
Jonathan Lowe was fascinating too,
Yeah.
having a police officer who represents multiple communities, and hearing his story. In fact, I'm not sure when, but in a couple of weeks, we are actually the couple who's coming on.
Yeah.
We all know each other from our youth. Jonathan, Lindsay, and
I thought you said you knew them from being in a prison cell, and Jonathan came.
no, Lindsay's husband is a retired police officer.
Oh, okay.
So he's retired now, but we all know each other from our youth. So that's an interesting, and that they will be coming on in a couple of weeks. I can't remember when, or is it next week? No, it's the week after next.
No, it's quite. Next week's Doug Bush. I'm not. I remember you inviting on the show, but I can't remember anything about him.
Doug is an author, social media author. He lives in Washington. I know that. And he was suggested by a friend of ours. And so he's going to come on next week. But prior to that, should I say who my most embarrassing one was? And it has nothing to do with him. It's all because of me.
Yes, if you want to. I think I can guess.
Can you guess?
Was it at the time one who Elton John doing something with his father and mother?
Yes. It was so Jay was so embarrassing, not because of him. He's a brilliant guest and brilliant person. It was all because of me.
Well, I mean, actually, as people might have realised, and I've got to go back even further in the archives as well to do it, but he is the show with the most number of clips in it that I've created.
Okay.
Because it was just one thing after another. He was very profound in what he said. I mean, to be fair, I do generally take most of the interview. I mean, there's very little I cut from the clips I put out on social media, but I think I had like 28 clips for Jay's show, which is like a record.
Well, he's very interesting and profound, but he's someone that I grew up watching him and his family. It was one of those things where, because I grew up AG, which for those who don't know, it's Assemblies of God denomination, our families would have us sit down and watch the 700 Club or whatever that the show was on. And so I grew up watching him and kind of watching his story. So when you see someone that when you get to interview someone like that, it can be a bit, what is the word, Tim?
Intimidating,
nerve-wracking, and it had nothing to do with him because he's wonderful. But yeah, that was my most embarrassing show because I just didn't know what to ask. So that was fun. I think, Jeremy Mark Rich is fascinating to me because he's just so brilliant. He's a writer, he's a creative, he's an abstract thinker, definitely someone who thinks offbeat and brilliant. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, the trouble with it, I think the great problem we've got with this from a social perspective is we're going to miss out guests who are wonderful. Maybe to say Chioma was wonderful because she's in the comments.
Chioma was amazing, and Chioma was able to explain to me.
As was Jim Hughes, who was also in the comments. I mean, there's only two people watching at the moment. So.
Jim and Tim. We had both on at the same time.
Yeah.
We have them both on at the same time. Jim and Tim.
We did, yes. Yeah.
They're fun and lively. They're just.
Yeah, I need to go back and do some clips from their show as well to put out.
And speaking of Jim and Tim, they remind me of May King. We had May King on, who's always full of energy and just a favorite human anyways.
Well, it's funny, actually. May King started doing a Twitter space on Tuesdays. Not Tuesdays, on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And yesterday I was on that, and Amanda Webb was on as well. She's another former guest of the show.
That's right. I love her Tuesday space. What she does is she brings people on to her Wednesday space.
It's Wednesday, yeah. That's like
her Wednesday
5 o'clock UK time. So I think that's when is that? This is 7 o'clock, so it'll be 9 o'clock Pacific time on Wednesday. Okay.
I love that she gives people a platform and she promotes friends and what they're doing.
We've got somebody plugging themselves to come back on the show, because I know I would actually be interested in that, Jim, because your whole Amazon live, because he's live on Amazon with this show, Chris Doney. I don't know, but that could be interesting. I'll remind me after the show. I'll send you the booking link. We're actually booked up until June time, I think, at the moment. But after that, yeah.
Let's bring him on and talk to both.
Oh, yeah. This again, another good recent interview. It's Jenny Osborne.
Jenny Osborne and her book. She's a new author.
Yeah.
And Jenny has become a very good friend of mine because of James. They're very, very good friends. And she, I don't know, you guys out in the UK are put out some really good friends. You make
I mean, that's a bit like, I mean, you can't sum a whole country up. They're nice northern people. I'm down here with the decadent Londoners who are going to be.
Is anyone in the UK not a good friend?
Actually, Jenny's in London, so it's kind of a whole. And I think Gabriella, your friend, who's going to be on in May sometime, she's from the London area as well. So it's not entirely true. I mean, we had Mark Schaefer on recently. I mean, I've interviewed Mark before. I mean, he clearly was doing it as part of his book round of interviews, which is different from when it's a unique guest, but it was still a very good interview, and he's always great value, Mark Schaefer.
I was impressed with Mark Schaefer, and I love not only what his books. I was surprised at his book and what he had inside. It was intriguing to me, but I also, of course, I'm going to say I love his spark idea, spread a little spark around the world, and his idea behind that. It's a simple concept, but it's so true, and something that makes the world better if we can grasp that. Trying to think of who are some other guests. Here's my memory.
We're missing all the people in the middle, aren't we? It's kind of like
the beginning and end. It was in the middle.
Like Mike King, Amanda Webb. Going down the social media thing, we've had Andrea Smith on twice.
That's
once
right.
Talking about TikTok and once about herself. About herself is about a book about Scotland that she's writing.
Yes.
I have to pronounce this right. Eliza Meredith talking about Pinterest.
Wait a minute. Who could forget our ADHD guest?
Oh yeah, he walked out in the middle. I can't remember. What can you remember? He was your friend. Remember what his name was?
He has an ADHD group that I'm part of, and I thought it was so brilliant because we were talking to him and he had good things to say, and then next thing we knew, he walked out because he had something to do.
Well, actually, I mean, I've got to put that as part of the. I need to do some new titles for the shows to update with some new guests. In fact, what we could do is you could play the titles of the show and then see who else we've forgotten about in the titles. Actually, that's not a good idea because that'll confuse everybody. They'll think like, why am I joining the show in the middle? Why am I playing the titles in the middle of the show?
That's so funny. You've brought on some friends from around the world. We've had friends from literally around the world.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, Lenka, I knew she was in the Czech Republic, but she was based in Cambridge. I'm not sure if she's going back to Cambridge after COVID thing. Okay. Tanya, I have no idea. Tanya Arabella, I'm not sure about her name. Yeah. She's in Croatia, but she's she is in London, but she's in Croatia at the moment. Trying to think, where else have we had people from? Oh yes. Oh, my mind's going. Who was our Barcelona guest? Katja from Barcelona. She was.
Yeah. And we had Canada, who actually is now in Denmark. Did we have any other Canadians? I'm thinking of was his name Chris?
Yeah.
Chris from Canada.
Chris Cubby.
He was fun. He was really fun.
Yeah.
So have we had any other Canadian guests?
I have a feeling we have, because I was thinking like, he was the first Canadian guest, and I thought somebody else who was Canadian we had on, but I can't remember who the Canadian person was. This is such a terribly unplanned interview. I should have all the list down. People in the comments want to put who their favourite guests were or their least favourite guests.
Least favourite guests?
We can't really ever say least favourite guests.
We can't say least favourite guests. Okay, let's do our giveaway.
Yeah. Right. So, did I miss anybody in the comments?
We have Jim, James, Chioma, and then who's on? We have
Mark L. Morris and Chad both put themselves down. Let me see.
Did anyone else?
If anybody else wants to be in the...
we have a last-minute drawing. I'm giving away either my Spread Hope sweatshirt or a mug.
Well, I mean, we could almost just give everybody something, but we... I'm
looking at... you get one more chance to enter the drawing.
Yeah, if you want to be included in the draw, you've got about a minute.
Before we start.
It's like as soon as we start. Well, actually, I suppose we could start drawing things. If people want to add themselves in, they can add themselves in. Shall we take people out if they won something?
What was that?
Shall we take people out if they won something?
Oh yeah, only one. They only get one thing.
Yeah.
One thing. So let's say what we're giving away and what they've won. We'll do one at a time.
Well, okay. Shall I start or you start? But shall I start off by giving a copy of my Time Shock book away, which can either be ebook or paperback. And if people have already got it, then well, tough, really. So, like, what's that expression? Like, say your piece now, or forever hold it. That they say at weddings. Like, put your comment down, or forever hold your peace. If you're gonna draw.
Did you let them say that at your wedding?
No, but I didn't say that. It's the priest or the
Did he say it?
Yeah, I think so. But nobody, of course, knows. If anybody has any objections to this union, blah blah blah. Anyway, shall we try this unfounded technology that I found online?
This is really cool. Here we go. So we're giving away one of Tim's books. Woo-hoo.
How do I actually do it? I think I just click on here. Oh, Choma! You won the book.
James just said legally it's a requirement. It's not a requirement here to say forever hold your peace or whatever that.
I thought you were saying that Choma won the book legally.
Choma won the book.
You got a piece of paper where you can write down who's won everything or something.
And what's good for you is she's in the UK. So Choma.
Yeah, Choma. Oh, I'll just put that on there and see. Right. Close.
Okay, so I'm going to give away my Spread Hope sweatshirt to the next winner.
Right, so what are you giving away? Your spreadshirt? Spreadshirt.
I'm giving away my Spread Hope sweatshirt designed by my son, and I'll let the winner choose color, either pink, white, or black. You can choose which one you want. So let's give that away. It's exciting. I like this wheel. Let's do more giveaways. Just so. Oh, Jim. Oh wait. What happened?
James.
James. Oh, I thought James, you win my sweatshirt. Yay! I get to give James.
You get the UK person. He's the most expensive. You make no money.
Well, this is
giving away anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
James, you win my sweatshirt. Woohoo! Yay! You can choose the color too, James.
Right. I suppose I've got to give away a book now, haven't I?
Okay.
Yeah, but who's left in it? I think Jim's probably already got a copy of my book, but Chad probably also has. So rather than, I'll give them Magpies and Magic.
Okay.
In fact, I'll give the whole. There's 3 of these books, so I'll give you the whole series. It's my fantasy series. Actually, I need to redo the covers of the later books in the series. A lot better than this one, but right. So
who's going to win?
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's ridiculous.
This is fun. I like this wheel.
Hey,
Chad won your book series.
Yeah, he might already have it. I don't know.
Oh, there's Funfetti.
Right.
And I'm giving away a mug now. Badass Lovable Beast mug. I'll pull it out. this mug. I have it actually in stock, so I brought a.
Let me put you on solo layout so people can see your mug.
Oh, there you go. It's my camp mug, Badass Lovable Beast, designed by Marie Lapointe. Oh, Marie was a guest on our show too, and she was quite fun.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one that designed my mug. Former co-worker and brilliant designer and marketing person. So, okay, who's going to win my mug, Jim or Markel? You know, we might as well make everyone a winner.
That's what I'm thinking.
Only one person doesn't win. That doesn't work right. Jim wins my mug. Yay, Jim. Congratulations, Jim.
Right. And, well, Markel can go, and she can go up against herself to see if she can win this book. So
Markel's winning your social media book, the collaboration of friends. Markel, you win his book. Yay. Oh, and speaking of Markel, she was a brilliant guest as well.
Yeah.
She does grief recovery type workshops, and also she does workshops, and she's a coach helping people find their passion and their dream jobs. So she's really quite a brilliant person doing all kinds of things in my neck of the woods. She's here in Southern California. So that was fun. All right, Tim, we're going to be back next week on Tuesday.
We'll get complaints from all the guests that we totally forgot about in the middle. There was loads and loads of great guests, and probably people are like, "Oh yeah." But we have got loads of. We've got guests booked up for about the next month and a half, I think. So,
okay. And we're booking Jim and Chris? Is that who?
Yeah, well, they do like an Amazon live show, so that's actually on Amazon's platform. I have absolutely no idea how that works, so it'd be quite interesting to do.
Okay.
So yes,
let's do it.
And now that we bribed Jim with a mug, we bribed our audience with free stuff.
That's right. I need to. So I have James' address. Jim, I'm going to need your address to send you the mug. And you're going to need Choma's, and who else won?
Markel and I'll have to watch back to see one.
Oh, Kenny just came in. Did I get in on time?
No. Well, no, you didn't.
We just Jenny, we talked about you though.
Yes, we did.
We talked about our guests.
Well, only James, who was the conscience of the show as usual, and actually put in like.
But okay. But here's what I'm doing. Let's see, James. Here's what's funny. James won my Spread Hope sweatshirt. Jim won my Badass Level Beast mug. 3 different people run one of Tim's books. Markel. Who else won? Chioma.
Yeah, and
Did you write this down? Yeah. But Jenny, I'm going to send you a mug because I'm not going to not let.
Oh yeah, Chad won my.
Chad won your. Jenny, I'm going to send you one of my.
On the previous post, probably foolishly.
Tim gave away 3 separate things. I'll give away 3 separate things. So Jenny, you're going to win a mug. I'll send you. You can choose actually whether you want the Badass Lovable Beast mug or the Love is Our Superpower mug, and I'll send that to you. So.
Well, maybe her and James can share a mug, both from the UK.
So. I think Jenny's closer to you, and
yeah,
up in the Northeast. So
I've got one of your early mugs that you sent me, and then it was kind of. I think you've changed the flyer now.
I changed the flyer, so it's different. Yeah. It's the same.
I've got one of a kind. When you become like a superstar, I've got one of the early ones that will be able to resell at great value.
You have what are they called when they're antique or they're
limited edition? Well, it's kind of the offer. It's like the upside down printed stamps and things where they printed the plane. More than 300 details. That's nothing by American standards. They drive that in a whole like day for lunch. So it's
we do. It's true. We'll easily go on a day trip to Los Angeles, which is
it's 4 hours away, isn't it?
So, okay, I need to head out. I'm going out and about. Jenny, you're getting my badass mug. James is getting my sweatshirt. And who else is? Jim is getting my badass mug. So this will be fun.
I'll have to go back and remember who I'm supposed to send prizes to. If I send you a prize, I'll message you. And if I don't message you, message me and I'll send you a book.
Give us your address. Send us your addresses because we want to get these out right away. So, Tim, happy anniversary. April,
yeah, 1 year of the show. Yeah, it's been emotional. And hopefully for many more years, the show will keep going. So
okay, here's my one goal for us. We are going to do a show live in person in the future at some point together. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, the funny thing is, like, I'm frustrated because I haven't had the vaccine yet, because it puts all my plans in, because I don't know when the second jab's going to be, and I don't know when. But it's nice to be able to have like the feeling that I want to be able to plan again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there are allegedly 2 live conferences happening in the UK in September, which I think will happen, who were delayed from last year. That's Social Day and Market Ed Live. I'll probably go to. There is Podcast Movement, which is in the US in start of August, which is looking dicey, I have to say, with the because of the vaccine schedule. But it's good to be able to have like things potentially, and I'm really getting into Mexico at the moment in my like travel thing. So I think I might go. I might start exploring Mexico as well. So after I do the 50 states, I can do the 32 Mexican states as a.
That's a good idea. I mean,
I might die in Tijuana or somewhere, but I mean, the funny thing is, like, Americans think that Mexico's a terrible mess and the rest of it, but it's really only the border regions that are. I mean, it's like comparing sort of Chicago South Side to the rest of the US. It's kind of a bit unfair the way that Americans look in Mexico.
What's funny is some of the places you've looked at possibly moving to, I've looked at the exact same places. So that's quite unique. And I still want to look up the links that you sent me. But I would, all this to say is I want to go live with you at some point. Would you ever come out to Social Media Day San Diego? Or do you only come for the annual?
Well, it's only one day. I mean, at some point I've got to do Washington and Oregon. So I've got to do a West Coast trip. And actually, me going to Mexico in some ways makes it easier to get to San Diego, because I want to try. I've been saying I'm going to try that like terminal across the border in Tijuana Airport, where you can go across the border to San Diego from there.
Yeah.
And I want to do that at some point. So me being interested, so you want to encourage me to be interested in Mexico, because that makes it more likely I'll go to the West Coast.
I'll meet you in Mexico. It's an easy flight for me. I mean, I'm right here.
Yeah, well, yes, like you just so yeah, I mean it will happen at some point, and so will hopefully I'll be able to finish.
You could visit D. Scott Smith in Oregon.
Yeah, I do know. I don't think I've ever met him in person, but I know him on Facebook. There are people I know. The trouble is, I've got conflicting issues with the states challenge, in that there are some places where it makes sense to just visit because they're on the corner of two or three states.
Yeah.
But I don't know people there. Or I could go to places where I know people, but it's like just one state off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's more fun, actually, if you know people in a place, because they show you, like, and you just get a real sense of the culture of the place. Like, it was great fun visiting Jim and his wife, Karen, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Actually, I know so many people. I know about 4 or 5 people in Atlanta. It's getting, like, it's quite popular. So yeah, it's a lot more fun in a way going to places where you know people. But on the other hand, I could visit, like, there's a place on the corner of 3 states I could visit in West Virginia, And I'm like, I could just fly in there, do a few days trips across the border,
Driving a
Ohio and Kentucky. Or I could try and visit them individually and visit people there. So yeah, it's interesting.
Are you still going to write your book about the 50-state visit?
Oh, I had no idea. I said I was, but I didn't really keep any notes. I mean, what I'm thinking more likely I'll do is do like a YouTube channel where I do like one for every state. Though the trouble is, like, the first states I did years and years ago before I really knew any of this challenge stuff. So like Florida, I haven't been to for like almost 15 years. 15 years. Last time I went to Miami, that was the only place I went. There's no photographs that exist, but I know people. I was with people in Miami, so I know it's like one of those. And I stayed overnight there because basically, as far as my channel go, you have to do something there. I mean, to be fair, I have done day trips to places like Connecticut and everything. But if I've eaten something there, or I've got a coffee, or visited a museum, then that's something. But going to an airport doesn't count. So, like, even though I've been to Sky Phoenix Airport before, I went to Phoenix. That didn't really count in my mind. Though I did work out that I'd actually, strictly speaking, already done Arizona after I did it, because I did this years and years ago. We did this helicopter ride into the floor of the Grand Canyon, and for some reason I didn't think that was in Arizona, the bit that we were in, but actually it must be. They're like all of the Grand Canyons.
Grand Canyon is brilliant. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I suppose if you do the state twice, it doesn't really matter. So some of the states, like New Jersey, I haven't been to since I was working. So again, that's one that I couldn't really necessarily. So I might have to revisit some states to do some videos on. Good.
Well, I thought maybe I'd see you in the UK in August, but regardless, it seems even if we could travel, I might be in the UK and you might be here. So,
we'll work out soon. I mean, it depends if I get the vaccine. If I get a text for the vaccine in the next week or so, then I can probably do podcast movement. But if I don't, and I'm like, it's unlikely, because I could probably still travel, but they take 3 months to give you the second jab in the UK, because that's what they're doing. So that would be start of August.
It's so odd. You know, when I went and got my shot, they have been emailing me weekly to schedule the second one, because they're trying to stay so on top of that 20 to 28 day time frame. So my second one is coming up Sunday, actually, because they said I got the Pfizer shot and they said you have to have it within 20 something days. I can't remember. So,
well, it's like my mom had the Pfizer shot, but she had them 3 months apart. I mean, it's funny because the AstraZeneca one has been said that it is better if you have it 3 months apart. But the British government have just done it for everything.
Yeah. Someone was.
They've got to apply to the Moderna one now, and it's like, well, if I get the Moderna one, are they going to do that 3 months? I guess they're going to do that 3 months as well. So
Jenny, so Jenny said, "Yay, bring on August and travel." My goal was to come to the UK for my birthday, but we're not planning anything yet because we just don't know. So until US and UK says, yes, travel is open, I'm not planning anything yet. But that was my goal, August. Well,
they're going to have some sort of traffic light system, aren't they? And they're talking about possibly putting the US in the green category for some reason.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Well, apparently they're not going to open it up until May the 17th at the earliest, which seems ridiculous, to be honest. But and then they're going to list all the countries with a green, red, yellow. So remember what traffic lights look like. So the green is going to be no quarantine. Yellow is going to be quarantine for 14 days or something, but you can do it anywhere. And the red ones are going to be, you have to do hotel quarantine. So like what they do in Thailand, where you basically escorted from the airport to a hotel and locked in there for like 14 days.
Yeah, I saw that on one of the travel stations that I follow. So the UK is making this green.
Yeah, so that is basically for people coming into the UK. So hopefully, if the US is on the green one, then you could come over and you wouldn't have to quarantine in the UK. I think you might have to show your vaccination paper, but you'll be 2 weeks by then. I mean, if you're having your shot this weekend, then 2 weeks time, because they want it like 2 weeks after the second vaccine.
Yeah.
Again, this is where the whole 3-month thing in the UK is a pain in the ass. But I mean, it's like I can probably just. I mean, all the hotels and everything I've got in for that podcast movement is all cancelable, which is good.
Yeah.
And the conference itself isn't that expensive. It's just annoying because I would quite like to get across to the US some point this year.
Yep. Travel. Okay, I have to go because I am going to work in a classroom and I have to be there. So Jenny, Jim, Chioma, James, thank you for popping on and commenting. Everyone's a winner today. Tim, thank you for being my co-host. It's been really fun.
Yeah. And I'll see you next. It's Doug Birch next Tuesday.
Tuesday, we'll be live with Doug, author, pastor from Washington. This will be fun. See you soon, everyone. Bye.
No, not yet.
This is terrifying for me.
I've made more money in the last 3 years than I did in the previous 7.
Cliche shit, you know.